Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another review. And today, I have an incredibly cool indoor air purifier that will help to keep you and the family very comfortable throughout the entire year. And this product has all the features you'll care about for an air purifier in a small enough case where it fits on any bedside stand or a table in your rec room, and you almost forget that it's there, but it's incredibly powerful. It's almost whisper quiet silent, and it can clean a lot of air in a very short order. And I'll get into all those features in a minute, but before I do, I'd like to do a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy this product. And then I'll go over the features that this product provides because it's small, but it's incredibly powerful. It'll clean a lot of air very, very quickly. And then I'll actually take a closer look at the unit and show you how to turn it on, how to use it, how to change the filter, all the things you'll care about once you open up the box and start using it. And then finally I'll come back and point out a few things that really separate this particular air purifier from others you may be considering, because there are a lot of products on the market that look like this that don't actually work like this. So let me get into the unboxing. So when you pop open the box, you'll find the air purifier and a power supply. It's a single power supply. You'll plug it into any standard wall outlet. The other end has a barrel connection on it, which plugs into the back of the unit, and that powers the product. Now the unit itself is small, like I'd mentioned. The filter inside is replaceable. You can pop it off the bottom. I'll show you that when I get into the closer look. And it's also got a spot up top where if you have essential oils or you like some fragrance in the room, you can put a drop of it up there. It'll bring it in through the air purifier and sort of freshen up the room a little bit. You also get a full instruction manual that explains everything you'll need to know in order to use this product properly. I always recommend reading through the manual because even though I'll explain a lot of the features, I'm sure I'm going to miss something and it's going to be in the manual. All right, so as far as the unit goes, there are a couple of things you'll care about with any air purifier you're considering. Number one, noise, because a lot of the air purifiers on the market, it's like you're starting up a power drill when you turn them on, and that's okay because it's moving a lot of air, but you can't really sleep with it. So if you've got it in your bedroom, which is a great place to have an air purifier, and it's making that grinding noise like a big fan, it's not going to work for you. And you want to have it close to your bed to keep the air as clean as possible where you're sleeping. This one has 3 different modes. There's a whisper mode that's sort of used when you're going to bed that moves the air, but it doesn't make a lot of noise, which is really important. And a lot of other products on the market are pretty noisy. They're going to move a lot of air, but you're going to hear it. It's like a big fan in the room. The second thing that's important about this is it has a 5-stage filter, because you're going to care how much stuff can it take out of the air, because you'd think, well, I can't see anything in the air. How polluted can the air be? Well, even in the summertime, you've got doors open, maybe you've got pets, somebody in the house is smoking, you're cooking in the kitchen. There's a lot of odors and a lot of dander and a lot of pollen and a lot of things floating around in the air that you can't actually see. Dust particles. This unit can clean the air in about a 300 square foot room, which is pretty incredible when you consider the size of it. It can also remove particles as small as 0.3 microns, which is down to almost bacteria level. So it's not only cleaning the smells out of the room, it's removing the dander, the pet hair, all the particles that are floating around in your air. And think about that. If this is grabbing it and hanging onto it in the filter, you're not breathing it in. And you think maybe in the wintertime I don't need an air purifier. Well, that's the worst time because you've got the house sealed up and all the air that's in the house is getting recirculated. So when you leave the house and come back, you're bringing dust and dander in with you, and that's floating around in the air. So this is something you're going to want to use year round. And then the third thing is, how can you fix it when the filter gets clogged? Can you replace the filter? Is it a permanent filter? Do you wash the filter? With this one, you can clean the filter, but you can replace the filter, and I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. It's a very simple process, and the company recommends you change the filter every 3 months, depending on how much you're using it. But again, the important thing to remember is this is going to remove all of the particulates in the air and give you fresh, clean air to breathe. And that's so important when you're sleeping, because a lot of people have trouble going to sleep, and it's because there's pollen in the air that's reacting with their sinuses, or there's dust particles floating around and you're inhaling that all night. So that can lead to snoring and uncomfortable sleeping and all the things that we don't want to have to deal with. Or if you have somebody in the house that likes to cook, maybe you've got a great chef and they're cooking fish a lot, or they're cooking something that really has a pungent odor, put this in the kitchen, plug it in, it's portable enough, and that can filter all that air so it's not floating through the house, so you don't have to realize that Dad was cooking fish 3 days ago because the house still smells like fish. This is a great product for that. It's also, again, incredibly portable, so it's larger than I'd like to take on vacation, but a lot of times if you're going to a location for a couple of days, maybe you're staying at a B&B or you're in an apartment, it's not bad to bring along because it's small enough where you can bring it, you can plug it in, you can clean the air wherever you happen to be. So I like the product a lot from that perspective. The last thing I'll say about it is that it can also, it also has a HEPA active carbon filter. Now that's a big difference between this one and a lot of other units. A lot of other units have multi-layer filters built in, but that HEPA carbon filter is really what catches a lot of the dangerous things like the bacteria and the germs and things like that will get stuck in that HEPA filter, and that's super important. And again, when you're comparing this to other units, make sure you check the filtration capabilities of the other units, because this one again is a 5-stage filtration system, which has that HEPA filter and a bunch of other smaller screens to catch the big stuff in the outside. And as the air passes through the filter system, it's big stuff, smaller stuff, smaller stuff, smaller stuff, and then tiny stuff on the inside. And it's really just going to clean up the air. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at it. And then I'll come back and re-emphasize a few things that I feel really separate this from other air purifiers on the market, because I've spent some time with it. I use it, I like it, and it freshens up the air. It just makes things a lot easier to breathe. So stay tuned and we'll get into the closer look next. So you can see the venting on the top of the unit, and as I mentioned before, there's a center section here that you can unscrew and pop off, and then there's a sponge underneath, and that's a great place to put essential oils or some fragrance that you'd like to permeate the room. And when you've done that, just put a drop in there. You don't need a lot. Close the top up and you're good to go. On the front of the unit, you'll find the power button right here to turn it on. And there are 3 modes. Sleep mode, which I mentioned before, is whisper quiet, low and high. And I like the fact that I've got 3 different modes, because when I'm sleeping, obviously I've got it on the lowest setting. But if I'm in the living room and I'm pretty far away from it, I can put it on low. But if I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking something that's pungent, I'll put it on high. It makes a lot more noise, but it moves a lot more air through it. On the bottom of the unit is where you'll change the filter. Basically turn this counterclockwise. Filter pops out. And again, it's a single unit. Everything inside there, you can clean this with a damp cloth, but the filter comes out. You don't have to worry about cleaning it. Just use it for 3 or 4 months. When it gets dirty, you can pop it out and replace that. Now, let me show you how it works with the power connector. Here's the port where you plug the power in. I've already plugged the power supply in, and like I'd mentioned, it's a barrel connection right there. Just plug that into the back of the unit. And then you can see on the front, it's off right now. I'll turn it on. And that's in sleep mode. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty bright in here. It's in sleep mode right now. Listen how quiet that is. I'll move this right over by the microphone. That's incredible. All right, now let me move it into low. Now you can hear it. Again, I'm in the same spot. Let me leave it here. Then I'll turn it on high. Now that's high. You wouldn't want that next to your bed, but maybe you're heading in for the night, you're getting ready to go to bed. You can put it high, let it clean the room a little bit. Then when you go to sleep, turn it down to sleep, and it drops down to that level. And I love that because I know that it's constantly cleaning the air in the room that night, and I'm not worrying about it being too noisy and waking me up 4 or 5 times in the evening. So I love that. And again, you can make the adjustments as needed. That's pretty much it for the air purifier. I hope that closer look was helpful. Now here are a few things that I really like about this particular air purifier that I hope you find value in, and you can use these to compare it to others you may be considering. The first thing for me that I still can't get over is the size of the unit for how much air it can move, because normally an air purifier like this is a pretty big affair. It's gigantic and it sits on the floor, you plug it into the wall and people are tripping over it and you're walking around it. I mean, it's pretty obvious you've got an air purifier. With this one, it's small enough where I can leave it in my bedroom on the counter. It keeps the air nice and fresh. I sleep really well. I don't wake up with sleepies in my eyes because it's taken all of the dust and dander out of the air. But if I'm cooking something in the kitchen that's a little bit pungent, maybe it's fish or it's something with curry, I can lift it, take it in the kitchen, plug it in, it's portable, and I can clear the air in the kitchen so the rest of the family doesn't have to smell the fish for the rest of the week. So I love the fact that it's portable and it's small. It also moves a lot of air. It can actually clear the air in a room about 300 square feet, which I think is incredible for its size. I also like the fact that it's got a removable top here where I can put essential oils in or a fragrance in, and then when it's operating, that fragrance permeates the room, so it sort of livens up the room a little bit. Another important feature is the filtering, because the whole reason you're buying an air purifier is to take all of those allergens out of the air, the dust, the particles, the dander, some of the bacteria that's out there, certainly pollen. And a lot of the air purifiers kind of fall down in that space. They have a 3-stage filter or a 4-stage filter. This one is a 5-stage filter, and it's got an active carbon filtering system inside there as well as being a HEPA filter, which is super important. So I know that this filter is going to catch the dust, which are bigger particles, smaller particles, smaller, 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 all the way down to the tiniest particle of 0.3 microns, which is incredibly small. It's almost like down to bacteria level, and it just creates really fresh air in the environment you're sitting. So make sure that you get one with at least a 5-stage filter in it. The other thing, and this is really important, is that the filter should be replaceable, because a lot of the air purifiers on the market have a filter that's stuck inside the unit, and you can take it out and you can clean it, but you can't really replace it, and no matter how much you scrub it, you're not going to get all of those contaminants off that filter. You're going to put it back in, it's going to be dirty. With this one, you can use it for 3 or 4 or 5 months, depending on how much you're using it. Just pop out the filter, throw it out, get a new filter, pop it in there, and it's fresh as new. You can start from scratch. So I like it a lot for those reasons. And other than that, I just really like the unit itself. It's whisper quiet. I mentioned that before. Some of the other ones that I used before I got this one were kind of noisy. And if you're trying to go to sleep, it doesn't really create white noise. It creates a noise that you have to pay attention to, so it's really hard to fall asleep. With this one, it has sort of a sleep mode on it, which is the lowest setting. It's still moving quite a bit of air, but it's so quiet you almost can't hear it. So I like that an awful lot because I can keep it close to the bed, which means I'm going to have all this fresh, beautiful air over the bed area, and I'm not going to have to worry about, again, waking up or snoring during the night and waking my wife up. So I think it does everything I need in a small package, and it just works really well. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I love talking about these kind of products, and I'll be back with more. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, stay nerdy.